So my name's Alasdair Cunningham. Welcome to the Valiant Entrepreneurs Podcast. On this show this week, we're going to be discussing two things. Number one, Tom's new book. And in case you didn't hear me, I said number one, Tom's new book. It's called It's Time to Win Big. So make sure you get It's Time to Win Big. It's on Amazon. So make sure you go out there right now, search Amazon, It's Time to Win Big, Tom Cook, and you'll see his book. And then number two, we're going to be discussing something else about Tom's book. No, kidding. Number two, we're going to be discussing what it actually takes to be wealthy and what it means to be wealthy, and where's that line between being wealthy and being not wealthy. So as I said, my name's Alasdair Cunningham. Welcome to the Valiant Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm here again with my co-host,
Tom Cook, recently published author of It's Time to Win Big, which we're going to be talking about today.
What's it called again?
One more time, It's Time to Win Big.
So, one more time, it's time to win big, okay? If you want to win big, you know where to go. Amazon, it's time to win big. And you get Tom Cook's new book.
Available now on Amazon.
So, what have you been up to apart from winning big?
Went to Romania.
Romania,
Saw,
Buna.
Buna. Saw Elena's family for the first
Nice,
time.
nice. I can count to 10 in Romanian.
Oh, it's more than me.
Uno, doi, tre, patru, cinci, șase, șapte. Uno, doi, tre. Uno, doi, tre. I've lost it.
Can we just have a clip that says, oh, I can count to number 10 in
I can count
Romania?
to 7. Uno, doi, tre, patru, cinci, șase, șapte, opte, nouă, zece. I can't remember 10. Anyway,
I can say ice cream.
on.
Ingot starter.
ingot starter.
Ingot starter.
Ingot starter.
So if I want some ice cream, just ingot starter.
Ingot starter. Multi-mesk. All right, anyway, let's move on. Okay, so how was Romania?
Loved it.
It looked-
Absolutely loved it.
It looked cold.
It was. It was. There was a lot of snow as well.
It looked like beautiful snow as well. I know
Lovely
that's-
country though.
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely
well,
country, lovely people as well. Very welcoming.
I can imagine. There's a lot of people, obviously there's a lot of people talk about Romania being a very, very clean country and a very, very welcoming country.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Well, I know last week we talked about how everyone's leaving the UK. I think Romania's obviously because everyone was coming to the UK from Romania, weren't they, to work?
Yeah.
And now I think they're all going back. They're getting a lot of youngsters come back to the country to work. So it is growing. Which is a good position for them.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been. What did you get up to when you were there? Did you do anything exciting?
Most of the time spending with family.
Right.
So I'm a new godfather.
Okay.
And that's a big thing for them. I didn't realise.
It is, yes.
It is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was very grateful to be part of that and just see where she came from and stuff. But nice country. Loved it.
What was the ceremony like? Did you listen and understand
I
everything?
didn't understand a word. I didn't understand a word. Elena she looked at me, the priest said something, and then Elena looked at me and she was like, oh, you've got to follow the priest around the church now. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And I was like,
So that Elena was translating. You know, she could have literally said anything.
she could have said it.
Imagine if she said, oh yeah, you've got to do the funky chicken. And you'd be like, okay.
Okay, I don't want to be disrespectful.
I know. Absolutely. But yeah, no, it's good. So did you get to do any sort of sights or was it just family time?
Family time. A lot of family time.
And where it was just outside Bucharest, was it not?
Yeah, about a couple of hours. We wanted to get into the mountains, but a lot of snow. I've never seen that much snow before.
I saw your Instagram story. It looked like there was a heck of a lot of snow there.
And they all just carry on as normal.
Well, of course they do, because they get snow every year. It's like up in Scotland, they get snow every year, and the world doesn't come to an end because a little bit of snow fell on the floor. It's only in England that the world comes to an end when it snows.
They're all driving really fast, and I was like, do we want to just calm it?
Yeah, but they all put snow tires.
They got
on.
winter tires on and stuff like that.
So most of the European countries, they all have a rule. You have to have snow tires fitted to your car.
Yeah.
In the winter months, so that's normal. All right, okay. So you've been to Romania. Anything else happened in your life apart from publishing your new book? In case you didn't notice, it's called "It's Time to Win Big" by Tom Cook. It's available on Amazon and all good bookstores.
How many times do we want to mention?
I don't know, about
As many
300.
as possible.
Yeah,
We'll
so
get another
in-
10 in. What have you done recently, though? Less about me.
What have I done? I have. Do you know? I went to London, right? So I've since coming back from Christmas and that, I've been working very hard in the business, and I've been doing a lot. I've been spending a lot of time in the office, and I've been, just working on a lot of things because there's some things we had to sort of sort out. Okay, so I've been doing a lot of things in the office, and I've not really had any sort of breaks, and I know it's only been 6 weeks, right? But I've not really had any breaks or anything like that. So I decided to go to London, and I I went to see The Greatest Showman. You know, it's called Come Alive, and it's based on the film The Greatest Showman. Now, if you've never seen The Greatest Showman, it is a good movie. It's a bit of a love story.
It's not
a
a
bit
good
of
movie. It's a great movie.
It is a great movie. It's got the story behind it is entrepreneurial, but also a little bit about like family and a little bit about like what you have to do, sacrifice to get what you want and all that sort of stuff. But it's to remind you to, you know, not sacrifice everything just to get what you want. Okay, so it's actually a really great movie and some really powerful songs in there and songs with some deep meaning. So I went to London last week. I went down on Wednesday. I had a few meetings down there, so I went down and done the meetings. But then on, I think it was the Thursday evening, I went to see The Greatest Showman in Fulham, and I can't deny it, mate. It was phenomenal. It was absolutely amazing. Got front row seats, and it was absolutely amazing. It really was. The singing was great. I found myself like, you know, singing along. It was absolutely amazing. Brilliant.
Just in there with your hands up.
Yeah. From now on. Yeah, absolutely. It was amazing. Brilliant. And then afterwards, just went out for some drinks into central London. Had a really great night, I'm not going to lie. Like, I went to London, right, for 3 days, have a break, met up with some friends, things like that, and I just had a laugh, mate. And Greatest Showman, went for a night out to a place called Archer Street. I've been there many times, and it's just such a great vibe, and it's in like an over 25s place, so you don't get all the young hoodlums in there causing problems, but yeah, you know, you get all the dad dancers and, you know, the like dancing away and all that sort of stuff. Oh shit, I shouldn't say that, but you know what it is. And
Too late.
Nah, it's not. It's fine. It's what it is. You can beep that out. But yeah, you get all the, you know, the slightly older people. Yeah, the older people in there, and it's just great. It really is. It's just great. And then I came back on Friday, and then myself, Adam, and a couple of friends, we all went out on Friday evening into Leeds. Went to a bar in Leeds called the Domino Club. Have you ever been there?
I haven't been. You keep telling me.
Take a lane.
Joe was telling me about it as well.
And we'll go out. We'll invite you out. We'll go there on my birthday. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. My birthday's in 2 weeks' time. I expect a card and some presents. Send it to 6 Park Place, Leeds, LS1 2RU, and I expect lots of presents. I'm only kidding. But anyway, I'm not kidding. Right? I am.
He likes bath bombs.
Bath bombs, behave yourself. No, so on my birthday, we'll go to, I'm going to book some tables at the Domino Bar, right? It's in Leeds, okay? And it's just, it's probably, I think it's the best bar in Leeds. I really do. Live music, and again, it's an older establishment, so it's, you don't generally see like less than 25-year-olds in there. And then, yeah, we had a night out on Friday night. Myself and Adam, Adam's one of our team members, we went to a new Irish bar that's just opened up, and you know, Adam being Irish was very critical of it because, you know, you can't have an Irish bar outside of Ireland. But you know, when he thought nobody was looking, he was loving it. But when you were looking, he's like, nah, I don't like this place.
Not for me.
And we just had a great night out. And then we had an event on Saturday which was like phenomenally successful. Yeah, and that's about it, really. Nothing much. But I do feel very alive right now. Maybe it's because I went to see Come Alive. No, I just feel a little bit, refreshed and a little bit like, I look tired, but I actually don't feel very tired. I feel a bit refreshed and I feel a bit ready to, you know, it's nice that spring's come in and it's just, yeah.
Well, you were up last night for property and poker night.
I was, yeah. Last night we had our first networking event. So we've just launched an event happening every month, and it's called Property and Poker. So all we're doing is we're inviting people, and if you're watching this right now and you'd like to join us, we have an event every month in Leeds. And all it is a load of like-minded entrepreneurs, business or property, and we invite you to come to the offices, and we just have a very friendly, this is not high stakes, or it's not even any medium stakes, it's very friendly, just a game of poker. And we had about 20 people last night. We've got capacity for probably another 20, or even 30, or even 40. But I want to make it a regular thing where we just all come together and we just have a laugh, get to know each other. We order a load of pizzas and we're just networking, just doing business, just chatting, and just, you know, building that community of like-minded people who like to play poker and like to understand the maths behind it. and just have a bit of a banter. Last night was awesome. It really was. And I can't believe, but Adam Brown won the game. And I do not know how. I'm still fathomed to how he
Does he know
won.
how to play?
Not really, but apparently so. I reckon he's one of these undercover. Honestly, I think he's like one of these. Yeah, no, I don't know what I'm doing. But then he wins everything.
Really, at the weekend, that's what he does. He does poker tournaments.
Yeah, he's actually traveling to Vegas every 6 months, battering the poker rooms and dominating, and makes out he knows nothing about it. I honestly, mate, when I saw him on the end, and I was dealing, and I'm like, Adam, how have you got so many chips, and how has nobody else got any? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, but do you know what? We had a laugh.
Nice.
All right, so on to the subject of today's podcast. Because no doubt some wet wipe will say, why are they waffling so much about what they've done this week? It used to happen all the time to me. We used to have it all the time, and me and my former podcast host, we used to say, well, what did you do this week? And we'd talk 20 minutes about what we did, and then somebody would always say, why are you telling us about what you did? We don't care. I'm like, mate, well then, don't listen to the podcast. Jog on with your miserable life and just jog on.
That person will comment and go, I'm back, you're doing it again.
I know, and I'll say the same thing. Jog on, brother. Anyway, right.
What
does being wealthy mean?
Yeah.
And what does it take to become wealthy? There was James, our videographer, told us an interesting stat that HSBC says, how much, James?
230,000.
HSBC says that is that £213,000 in the bank, or is that £213,000 income?
Income a year.
So HSBC says that if you earn as a combined family income, an income of around £213,000, you can define yourself as wealthy. What do you think to that?
I don't agree with that. Because I think
should we let HSBC know?
Yeah, I'm going to send them an angry letter.
Send a strongly worded angry letter. Should we go into their social media sites and leave a horrible comment saying that you're wrong?
You're wrong. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I actually think being wealthy is how, if your income was to stop, how long can you live for? How long can you survive for? How long can you keep your lifestyle up for? And that begs the question. You see a lot of people online, they've got the yachts, they've got the jet bikes, they've got the nice house. So if their income stopped, how long could they live that same lifestyle for? And they'd probably end up having to sell everything and all of that. So then are they wealthy? Yeah, to a degree, you could argue.
Well, Elon Musk, he's got a yacht that costs £25 million a year, or dollars, to run, but he makes that in 4 hours.
Exactly. He's created the machines, he's created the assets to live a wealthy lifestyle.
Well, let's be real, right? The reality is most people listening to this podcast, myself, yourself, having the luxury yachts, having the private planes, all that sort of stuff, they're not out the question, but they're quite far away. And certainly most people watching, if they could get to £1 million a year, for instance, or £1 million net worth, that would be a life's victory, because most people will work their ass off all year to be able to say that.
Yeah.
Not all year, all their life. Most people work themselves for their life to be able to say that sort of stuff. And so let's try and keep it somewhat realistic, because to say you're wealthy, to me, you have to define wealth. Yeah. Like, what do you define as wealth? Because if I said to everybody watching this or listening to this podcast, if I said to them, define wealth, you'd all come up with different answers, right? If I said to you, what's your financial freedom number? Is it financial freedom, or is it financial independence, or is it passive income? What do you want to call it? But either way, what's the number that you need to say, do you know what, I'm doing well? That's different from you to me to James to Adam to Laura, the videographer, to Anthony, the editor. It's all different. So what's the difference?
There is none. I don't think. I just think, here's the thing. If somebody lives in a hovel, right, in a hut in the middle of a field, right, and they're very happy, they've got the food, they're living a good life.
Yeah.
they're chilled, content. Are they wealthy? And they'd probably say yes, they are.
They would say they're rich. They're rich up here. And
Yeah.
They're rich in here. Because we talked, I think in last week's show, we talked about how money doesn't make necessarily happiness. And I truly believe that. Like, because my brother, my oldest brother, Alan, is like, I love him dearly. But he doesn't value monetary or material items at all. It's just not where he puts value. So he's the sort of guy that would live in a forest, in a log cabin, living off nature, and he would be like a pig in shit.
Yeah.
He would be happy as a pig in shit. And honestly, I see that as hell. I'd see it as lovely for a couple of days, but hell, right? Yeah. Whereas, and I know you'd like that to a point.
Yeah. I'm the same. I'd love that to a point. You know, a couple of weeks, that's perfect for me. But then after that, I want.
But so, like, what would you say if you ever sat down and worked out like where you want to be at in life, how much income you want to be making for you to live your desired life? Because you know you can, if you're making let's say 15 grand a month, there ain't a lot you can't do.
Yep.
Fine, you can't have a private plane, but do you really need one? Because you can fly first class pretty much anywhere you want to go.
Most people get to that point, wouldn't they? 15 grand, and they'd be well content. It would sort a lot of this stuff out.
Most people watching this podcast would be happy with 5 to 10 grand a month, right? But if you think about it, like, James, what's your favourite car?
GR Yaris, Toyota.
Oh, for goodness me.
A Toyota Yaris.
He says a Toyota Yaris. That's your favourite car?
It's one of them.
Okay. All right, you've completely ruined this point now. I cannot believe he said his favourite car is a Toyota Yaris. All right, James, if I gave you 10 grand and I said, James, you can have any car you want, and I said, don't matter, what car would you buy? Your dream car, you're making all the money in the world, you're happy. What's the dream car that you want to buy in your life? Please don't tell me a Toyota Yaris GT.
5 Toyota Yarises.
What would it be? Come on.
911.
911, Porsche 911, okay? So a Porsche 911, man, that's better than the Yaris GT. James, you're going to get ripped to shreds in the comments. Guys, just please tag James and say, I can't believe your dream car was a Yaris, right? What the heck? Anyway, Tom.
Everyone's going to be typing in going, what's a Toyota Yaris?
Yeah, no, they're going to be looking it up and saying, James, what planet were you on? All right, Tom, if you could, I know you're not into cars massively, probably not as much as James, right? But if you know, what's your like? If you could have any car in the world, let's go back to when we were little boys and you're playing with your little cars round the little table. What car would you be driving?
That's a fire truck.
This is just shit. This is not working. We've got a Toyota Yaris over here. We've got a red fire truck here. All right. Okay, let's just.
No, I'd have an Aston Martin.
Aston Martin, right. Aston Martin, which one? Vanquish, DB9, DB7,
Vanquish.
DB12, right.
I'd
Fine.
love that.
So you'd have a Line 11, you'd have a Aston Martin Vanquish. I'd probably go for either the new Range Saloon, Rolls Royce Saloon, or I'd go for like, I've got an Audi Q8 right now.
I thought you were going to say like a Toyota Prius or something.
No. I could be even worse and say Tesla. Right, really go to town. Listen, if you're going to get like a nice car, it's got to have an engine that makes noise. So I like the 911 GT3 RS. I'd also like to get a McLaren 720. But look at all these fancy cars, yeah? Do you know you can lease them for probably £1,200 to £1,300 a month?
Yeah.
Why would you buy them? Because they depreciate in value quicker than my opinion of James just depreciated after he told me he wanted a Toyota Yaris. So the value drops faster than anything. So there's £1,200 gone. Okay. Where about do you want to live, James? Ideal home? Let me guess. A 1-bed apartment in Leeds. What's your ideal home, mate? When you're married with kids and you want to have your forever home, where is it and what does it look like?
Somewhere there like the Lake District.
Lake District. How many bedrooms?
3 or 4.
Okay. Drive for your Yaris.
Yeah.
Garage for your Yaris.
Won't need much space, will
You can just park it next to the wheelie bin. Right? Do you want a swimming pool? Do you want luxuries or?
Cinema room,
right? Is that for
Mean Girls?
Mean Girls, right? Fine, all right, fine. So that's James. What about yourself? Have you ever sort of thought about your luxury, your luxury house? What does it look like?
Yeah, it's about 2.3 million euros. It's on the Greek island of Mykonos.
Mykonos, fine, okay, right, okay.
It's a lovely villa.
Perfect. So I know my dream home, right? My dream home has got a private gate. Everyone just close your eyes and listen. No, I'm kidding. So it's got a private gate. You drive down a long drive. You get greeted by a big circle in front of the house with a massive, big, like really nice water feature. Not like an old tacky one, like a really nice one, right? Where you can actually drive around and then come back out. Grass everywhere, and then a huge modern, not old, modern house where you go in the big double doors, you open it up and you've got a stairwell going up, you've got a big grand piano, marble everywhere, and you go into this massive open plan kitchen, minimum 6 bedrooms, interior design to the hilt, right? But really high end, but with comfort. I'm not talking about uncomfortable, I want comfort. I too would like a cinema room, I too would like a poker room, I'd like a snooker table in there. I'd like a games room where I can have all my simulators for motor racing. I would like a big triple garage where I can have my McLaren, all my karts and all my racing equipment. And I want big bedrooms, all with en suites. I want either a swimming pool somewhere inside, or outside with a cover so it's heated. I want a big hot tub sunk into the ground.
How big's your fridge?
My fridge, it'll just be a little American fridge freezer. Why do you need much bigger than that?
Well, that's important, isn't it?
Is that all you thought about? You thought all that, and you thought about how big's the fridge? No, I'd have like a guest, like I want a room for hosting, so it'll have a really high end bar. But can you imagine? See that? But do you know you could probably rent that for $5,000 a month?
Yeah.
You could buy it, or you could just rent it. But my point being is, all these things don't cost that much money when you're, when you want to actually get out there and do something. So like, if you could get to $15,000 a month, right? I went really extreme there. But my point being is, when you start just thinking about really what it is you want, you can start putting prices next to it. You can have the car of your dreams for about £1,500, maximum £1,500 a month, right? You can have a really, 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 really nice home for £2,000 to £3,000 a month in most places outside of London. Obviously in London, you'll pay a lot more money for that really luxury home, but like you saw my house in Nottingham, like it was a 6 bedroom, fully detached, huge garden, double garage, big rooms,
big fridge,
modern, big kitchen. That was like £2,100 a month.
Yeah.
So,
I think people think they're going to need 10 million or 20 million.
No,
and it's not. When you actually price it all, the house, what you want to do, activities, hobbies, actually, it's so much less.
Even things like, I live a pretty comfortable life, right? I do pretty much what I want to do when I want to do it, right? And I don't spend that much money. I spend more than most, but I don't spend loads. Like, I'm going kart racing at the end of this month, right? And I've not done karting for about a year, and it'll probably cost me about £1,500 for the weekend.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people will say, that's my wage for the month. And I'm like, okay, but why don't you just do something to learn how to make some more money? And then your hobbies are paid for by the assets that you create.
Yeah.
Robert Key says, don't create liabilities, create assets to pay for the liabilities.
Yeah.
And it's about, look, what do you want to do with your life? Do you want to live it on your terms, or do you want to live it on somebody else's terms? I want to live my life on my terms. So I'm going to make more money so I can do that, right? But you don't need lots and lots of money to live a really nice lifestyle. You really don't. If you could learn how to make double your income, so let's say you make $2,000 a month right now. If you could learn how to make $4,000 a month, what else could you do with your life right now that you're not doing? And I think the reason why we talked in last week's podcast, the reason why the everyday person in the UK is feeling the pinch right now, and they're a bit stressed and a bit unhappy, and there's a lot of pressure in the UK right now, is because everyone's struggling. I think a lot of people are struggling financially.
Yep.
Like a lot, more than we've ever seen. And I think there's a lot of people that are living hand to mouth, and that's causing a lot of strain, but they just need to do something to make just a little bit more money. And then slowly life starts to change.
Even if you made an extra £500 or an extra £1,000 a month, that is huge for people. That is life changing, and that opens up a lot of doors.
I agree. So like when we see these reports about what it takes to become wealthy and what it means to be wealthy, right? It means something different to you, different to James, different to Tom, and different to myself. For me, I want this. I want that luxury. I want that luxury home. For you, you want your house in Mykonos. James wants a Yaris, right? Whatever, right? It doesn't matter. What is wealth for you and what does it mean to you? Screw everybody else. It doesn't matter what everyone else wants. It's not their battle, right? Yeah. You're fighting a battle every day, right, to achieve something that you probably don't even know what it is you want to achieve. And again, how many people come to us and they're like, we want to work with your company, Valiant Education. We want to win big. We want to achieve great things. And we say, well, what do you want to achieve? Well, I just want to get rich.
Yeah, just want more money.
If I just had more money, everything would be okay. That's not how it works. Because how, I know you're very big on this. You do a lot of planning. You do a lot of forecasting and a lot of, future planning. How does that come about for you? And what does that look like for you?
Yeah, because here's the thing. To earn more money, if you're going to build a business, there's a lot of moving parts to that. There's a lot of mechanics to that. And people think actually, if they just increase their revenue, and they talk a lot about making more money, but actually it's not about how much revenue you make, it's about how much money you keep at the end of it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where people go wrong. In terms, like I forecast, I look at my finances all the time because I want to be prepared. I've stung myself before and I've shot myself in the foot being lax with all of that stuff. And it bit me in the ass, big time.
Yeah.
And I got myself into the right hole.
Yeah.
But now, so I just look ahead. I don't want to get too sucked into it, but I just look ahead. How am I performing? How am I getting on with my finances? Is there anything ahead that I need to just think about and be careful of? But I have different pots there. I have different, pots, different accounts there to live different aspects of my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, for instance, when I pay my rent every month, goes into a pot, it's taken care of. Most people, they spend all their money and then they go, oh, how am I going to do my rent this month?
Yeah.
I have all that stuff taken care of.
Yeah, but how, and the reason why I mention this is because I'm not going to mention the lady's name, but do you remember we had that one-to-one meeting over at All Bar One? Do you remember we had that client come all the way up from a long, long way away?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I do when I do one-to-one mentoring and coaching with people is I'm like, okay, come to the meeting with an idea of what it is you want to achieve, because it makes our life that little bit easier if you've got some inclination of how you want to become wealthy or why, not even just how, but why. We can help you with the how, but you fundamentally got to understand why you want to do something. And this particular client, she couldn't answer any questions. All they kept saying was, I just want to make money. I want to get rich. I want to make money. I want to become wealthy. But the reality is, you've got to really understand why you want to do something. Like, if I asked you, why do you want to be rich? Why do you want to be wealthy?
To help my family.
Why?
Because I think they work very hard for me through their whole life. It's the same for Elena now. Like, I want her to live a good life.
No, especially now you've met her family.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with her family. I'm just saying, but because now that's a deeper connection. Yeah. James, why do you want to be wealthy? And so you can buy your Yaris, I suppose. But why do you want to be wealthy?
To look after kids I want in the future.
How many kids do you want?
2.
2, boys or girls, or do you not mind?
1 of each, ideally.
Ideally, yeah. Okay, but what if they're 2 boys? Keep trying.
Keep trying.
Keep trying. And you want to be married?
Yeah.
You want to build a life? Yeah. So see, when you start thinking about what it is you really actually want to achieve, instead of just saying I want to make money, like, come on, be deeper than that. Yeah. Like, be deeper than that. Like, why do I want to be rich? Well, why do I want to be richer than I'm doing right now? Why do I want to make more money? Why do I want to create more wealth? Well, number one, because I've got a lot of people that are relying on me doing this, right? I've got a lot of people that I support and I want to support. It's my choice to support. And I'm doing it for them as well as me. Now, they don't need me to be wealthy to love me, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm choosing to do what I do because I want to serve a lot of people the first point, family, okay? And I've got children, I've got siblings, I've got parents that I want to help out. I want to be wealthy because I've spent most of my life struggling like hell to make ends meet. I spent most of my early years in business robbing Visa to pay MasterCard, and like just struggling to get by. I've spent most of my life up until about 6 years ago being told I would amount to nothing, being laughed at and being bullied and being judged every time I wanted to come up with a new business idea. And quite honestly, I don't care about that. But there's all these factors behind what I've done to where I'm at now. And by all means, I've got so much room for improvement, right? But my point being is the reason why I do what I do is because, I want to create freedom, as our good friend Mel Gibson keeps telling us in the Braveheart. I want to create a life. I want to create joy. I want to create happiness. I want to create that freedom of finance where money is never a restriction to what it is you want. So if I go into any shop or any area or any car showroom or any home provider, I can say, I don't even have to think about how much it costs. I'm having that, okay? Because to me, money creates choice. Now, some people will argue saying that money doesn't create choice. It absolutely does, right? I want to know that if my parents get ill, I can afford to get them the best healthcare, like that.
Yeah.
Not thinking about it, not waiting for the NHS, because I'm not going to rely on anyone else. I know that I can get them whatever healthcare they need because I choose to do that, because I chose to get rich. Okay. I want to be able to, I just want to be able to do many, many things that without money, it's hard. I've got friends right now, right, that are, that are getting through their life, and they're getting through their life, and they're fighting battles on a daily basis just to make ends meet, and it's difficult to stand by and not try and help them.
Yeah.
And it really, really is, and you can only help so many people, but it's very difficult to stand by when you've got friends that are struggling to put food on the table and struggling to, pay for basics when when I know there's an abundance of money. And it's really quite painful when I know what's out there, but I just can't seem to open their eyes to what's possible, even though they've seen me and hundreds of other people do it. And it's painful.
It's a choice. Like everyone comes from different backgrounds, and we have different circumstances, but at the end of the day, it's a choice. If somebody doesn't want to move to that, then fine, that's on them. You can't, it's the classic, you can't lead a horse, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. It's the same situation.
My parents used to always say, you can't see the woods for the trees. And I get it. But at the end of the day, look, we all want to create something bigger in our life, something better, something wealthier, something happier, something healthier. So do you, whatever you want to do you. If you want to, lean forward and to do something different, do something different. The whole topic of this conversation was wealth and what it means for people. And HSBC define wealth as making over £213,000 a year. They've monetized it. But you mentioned about some people that might live in woods. They might say they're incredibly wealthy, not necessarily financially, but they're wealthy from every other aspect.
Yeah.
And again, it comes back to how do you value and how do you gauge wealth. Now, if it's purely from a financial aspect, then yeah, it's about building cash, all right, and assets. But if you go deeper than just the money, then it could mean many, many things. And I'm going to leave you with this one thing. I saw a gentleman speak at an event a couple of weeks back. His name is Paul Millian. A lovely gentleman, and he was actually in my room speaking at a networking event, and I heard him say he's now in his 50s or mid 50s, and he basically said he's built a very successful property business. He's done lots of good deals, but he's also lost lots of bad deals, and he's made and lost a lot of money over his time, and he's caused a lot of pain and a lot of sacrifice as well. And he said he wanted to downsize and just feed his chickens. And he says, why? Because when's enough? So don't go craving and chasing wealth like it is the be all and end all. It really isn't. Because, some of the loneliest people in the world are some of the richest people in the world. And understand that when you're sat at home in your mansion on your own at night, it's a fucking lonely place when there's nobody else around you to be there and enjoy that with you. And just remember that. And I can tell you now, it's so fucking true. So remember that. Peace out. Much love. Do you have anything to add?
Just quickly, whatever you want, you got to ask yourself, why do you want that?
Remember, if you want to win big, get his book, because he talks about all this in his book. All right. My name's Alasdair Cunningham. This is Tom Cook. I hope you found today useful. Tell me in the comments what you think of the show. Tell me in the comments what you would like us to discuss. And, peace out, much love, and I'll see you next time.
Take care.